All right, sweet babies, let's talk eclipse. It's happening tomorrow, October 2nd. Oh, this is Jamie from Independence Free Tarot and Seasons from Ritual. That's hot. I'm hot out of the gate. And we're going to talk about the eclipse that's happening tomorrow. Dark Moon Libra, solar eclipse. Uh, solar eclipses can only happen on dark moons. This is a ring of fire eclipse, so it is not a total eclipse, but this eclipse will be 7 minutes long, and that is an eternity for an eclipse, you guys. Like our total eclipse that we had earlier this year was 4 minutes long for totality. So 7 minutes. Seven is the number, of the magician, of the alchemist. Seven is 3.5 science, 3.5 magic. So this is a very mystical eclipse indeed. And it is a ring of fire. So dark moon, Libra. So the moon and the sun are together. That is why it's dark, because the moon cannot reflect the sun's rays. This is happening at 10 degrees of Libra. The sun and the moon will be in conjunction with Mercury, who is at 11 degrees of Libra. So that's a lot of communication. And then again, the south node is in Libra at 6 degrees right now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 conjunction. And the south node, that's the lunar south node, is what we're leaving behind collectively. So we've been talking about this since the south node went in there last year, and it is the idea of leaving behind what's not keeping us in balance, leaving behind the idea of being a martyr. Those lower Libra vibes are intense martyrism, intense people pleasing, just doing it to keep the peace, no matter what. It doesn't matter if Libra's happy or not. As long as there's peace, then Libra will just eat it and go on. So that is what we're leaving behind as a collective. And so having this eclipse right there says a lot of where we are as a society and what we're moving towards. It is important to remember that Pluto is at this 29-degree mark of Capricorn, and we're seeing a lot come from that. So I know that I always get these videos a day before, sometimes a little bit more, or on the day of, because I think it's so important to really feel into what is happening at the time or closest to these eclipses. Because even though like I write down this information and I just kind of sit with it, right, to see what is coming up immediately. So also, Libra is also this eclipse, the sun and the moon are going to be working with Black Moon Lilith. And this is really interesting because I just learned this yesterday, that Black Moon Lilith is not actually an asteroid or a planet. She is a point, and a point in the sky, and it's the point that's furthest, it's the furthest point in the lunar cycle from Earth. So it is the darkest point in the moon's cycle. And that is where the sun and the moon are right now. They're conjunct Lilith. And so the moon and the sun are the furthest away from, the furthest away from the Earth in the lunar cycle. And so that's a big thing. It's a dark moon. And so we're working with a lot of this idea of darkness. I wouldn't even say shadow, because there is no shadow. There is no shadow right now because we're in complete darkness, right? So Black Moon Lilith, if we go and talk about Lilith, right, she is said to be the first wife of Adam, and she wouldn't submit, so she left. She was like, no, we do everything equally, and now this is the one thing that you want me to do, and I'm not going to do it. So she left, right? That's it in a nutshell. Okay. And so moving on from that, then Adam found Eve, who was more submissive. Okay. So Black Moon Lilith then took on, or Black Moon, but Lilith took on this role of as she went along, because she knew who she was and she knew how she wanted to be treated. And because that wasn't happening, she left, and they turned her into this awful gargoyle thing that would come in and steal babies or kill babies. You know what I mean? Like they just turned her into a monster, right? That old patriarchal story. Okay. So it's important to understand that we're working with this idea of equality. She wanted equality. She knew what she could contribute. She had been contributing, and she wasn't going to be told that what she was doing wasn't helping, right? So she split. Also, she wasn't going to submit. So, but what's important with this is that when people try to talk about Black Moon Lilith, they often talk about like the shadow or things we're not comfortable with, or secrets, right? And when I talk about Lilith, it's not that, because she knew exactly who she was and what she stood for, right? And so the fact that the moon and the sun are together in the void, right? That complete darkness. And now they're with Lilith in the complete darkness, her point. They're visiting her basically where she is. And it's called apogee. There is a term for this when the moon is the furthest in its lunar cycle. It's called apogee. So that's science. That is going to have a huge effect on us. That is going to really put this magic that we need in for this Libra season so we can get ourselves back into balance. And it's important to remember when working with the darkness or working with the void, we don't need to know everything that happens, right? That's not why we're here on Earth. And of course, we try to get as much information as we can because we're people, and we do appreciate that, like discovering, oh, wow, this is how that happens. Wow, and we know how that works. It makes us feel good, right? It does give us a sense of control, and those aren't bad things. But, or I should say, also, there is just some things that we're not going to always completely fully understand, and that's okay. That's what brings in the magic. Like we understand how a baby is made. The idea though that like life and a soul, we're still a little iffy on that, right? Or how souls stay around or if they leave, and those kind of storylines. So it's really important with this dark moon to allow yourself to let go, surrender, like we always do. Give yourself that time of rest, but also give yourself that spark of solace, so you start to believe again that things will come into balance, so that you can um, stop being the martyr. We don't have to worry about people pleasing. There is a great, like we always talk about, like this greater power, or if not, like science, or whatever you believe in, or nothing at all, right? But something else, right? It's supposed to come in, and we do these things in order for that to happen, but we're still trying to see what it looks like, or see like if I do this and that, then this will happen. And this is an intense time, especially with the eclipses, because it's wild, right? Wild magic. Um, that we have to surrender to allowing, right? If we show up and we allow, that's 99% of it, right? And it's okay if you feel like I'm still trying to really figure this out, or I feel like I really feel like I have to do these things, or I don't know how to relax. I don't know how to allow. Um, just knowing, okay, I have to allow is allowing yourself to allow. Okay, because the reality of it is, if you're looking over here, if you're looking at me, you don't know what's going on behind you, so shit's gonna be happening, right? And then if it comes to your attention, oh, okay, so you're allowing things to allow. I know it sounds crazy. You're allowing things to allow if you just tell yourself that I have to allow these things to allow, because as a society, we've been programmed that we have to work and we have to do things a certain way. But with this eclipse, it's really talking about going into that divine feminine energy of creation. And you have to remember, no matter who you are, how you present, we all have that feminine energy within us. We all have that masculine energy within us. And the fact that the sun and the moon are together with our masculine and feminine in the dark with Black Moon Lilith in the dark, this is a huge point of creation. It's a huge point of letting go. It's a huge point of surrendering. It's a huge point of just a sigh of relief, a huge point of like, I don't have to show up like this anymore, right? And if you try to get into it logically, it's, ooh, but if you just sit a minute and just breathe into your heart, it lets things go. It really does. The second big story of this, well, actually, we have the first big story, eclipse. Second big theme, I would say, Black Moon Lilith, right? Good thing is Mercury's there in Libra to help talk this shit out, right? Because like if you feel like you got to talk about it, because you know some of us like to talk things out, some of us like to think about things, some things like to feel about things. Mercury is there. Mercury is there. So even if you're talking about it in your brain, you're going to be able to find that relief, okay, that we need to let things go. Because it's interesting as humans, like we're always looking outside of us, right, for that sign. Okay, where is it? Which is great, you know, we do. But we're moving into this era where we now know that we've got to look inside of us, knowing we're creating, and then looking for the signs. So, this is the help that we need, that maybe we didn't know we need, and the help that we do know we need. And that help is Black Moon Lilith. Okay, she's coming in, she's cloaking everything, she's putting everybody to sleep. She's saying, you guys actually all know who you are, just like I always knew who I was. I've been running the streets, right, for centuries. The skies, okay? But we're all coming together with this eclipse. So I can push you guys a little bit further for what you need. And then we just kind of wake up the next day and start living out our lives in this new energy. Some of us, it's going to be quick. You know, some of us, you know, we're still going to feel a little agitated because it's still this whole idea, and we're living through it day by day of watching the old die, right? And watching things change. And on one hand, it's like, thank God. And on the other hand, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? And on the other hand, it's like, oh no, now what? Right? But we're living through that day by day by day. And so you're all doing a good job. So give yourself a pat on the back. But understand, this is a really big eclipse. October is going to be a really big month. And this is what we've been asking for. So the idea kind of goes back to, okay, well, what, you know, what can I control? What's not making me feel out of balance? How can I keep calm? And really, you know, focusing on that, right? I was talking to a friend earlier today. She was saying, I'm doing too much, scrolling a little bit too much, I think she was saying. And it's like, I know, I do too. What's better for me and my mental health? Going for a walk. So I just need to go for a walk, you guys. We are humans. We can do things. If you think you're doing too much of one thing that's keeping you out of balance, put it down, go do something else. You can do it. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I can do it. Go for walks. I just texted a girlfriend yesterday. I said, hey, let me know if you ever want to go hit a few laps around Audubon. My good friend Tyler, she's coming back into town. I'm going to meet up with her. Maybe she'll want to go for some walks, you know? We are in control, even though it doesn't seem like it some days, but we really are. So it's really important for us to look and do the things that keep us in balance. And you'll notice it's usually not really hard. It's not having to go buy, you know, a $600 membership. It might just be locking your phone in a drawer and going for a walk. You know, it might just be like, I got to drink more water, you know? And so it's really important to look and see some of these small things that we can just do that keep us into balance when we're outside on our lunch break, breathing in the sun, you know, just really being present with that, you know? This is what this eclipse is bringing us back into. It is getting out of that people pleasing, being scared to speak up for yourself, you know? The other big theme that's helping us with this is there's a grand trine, right? A grand water trine. So Venus, those Venus energies, we got to keep our eye on Venus because she's big in all the stories. She is in Scorpio at 15 degrees. Mars is in Cancer for the next 6 months. That is huge. He's there, I think, at, where's our Mars? Or no, excuse me, Venus is in Scorpio at 11. Mars is in Cancer at 15. And then we have Saturn, who is retrograde in Pisces, okay, at 14 degrees. So that makes a triangle. And so that is a grand water trine. And so this is really important because Venus has just plugged her nose and is doing a deep dive into Scorpio. And we have to remember Venus is our self-worth. And right now, today, on October 1st, here in New Orleans, all those dock strikers just went on strike. Okay. They cannot keep working under the same conditions. Men, women, everybody on strike. Okay. There's over, I think, nationwide 80,000 dock workers. Okay. So it's important to see this in this context. Venus knows her self-worth. Venus has just did a deep dive into Scorpio, which is death and transformation. All right. Our self-worth is saying, we're not going to take it anymore. Okay. We've got to transform this. And that's scary. That's scary. You know, saying you're going to strike on your job, that takes a lot of courage. You know, Libra, before having that martyr syndrome, would be like, oh no, it's okay, I'll just take it, right? No, it's okay, it's all right. You know, we got to keep the peace, we got to keep going. I got bills to pay, all this shit, right? Well, this eclipse that eclipses things in and out real fast, with Black Moon Lilith sitting right next to the sun and the moon in Mercury, is going to start this new conversation again. I say again because we've been going on strike now for a few months in different organizations, which we need to. Hey, I now know my self-worth. Hey, I'm not going to put up with this shit anymore. Hey, this is unjust. I'm not going to put myself on the cross so you guys keep making money and I can barely feed my family, right? Venus in Scorpio, deep dive. She just went in 11 degrees. She ain't coming back. She's not coming back until she has this transformation where she keeps speaking up for her self-worth. And Mercury should be going into Scorpio, you know, pretty soon. He moves fast. So then you have Mars in Cancer. Okay. And Mars in Cancer is saying, you know what? I'm fucking over these feelings where I couldn't speak up for myself. You know, I'm just going to keep suppressing them, keep soldiering on. No matter, again, you're you know, man, woman, whatever, they, them, whatever. Okay. These are universal feelings. Okay. And so Mars is saying, yeah, it's okay to feel pissed off. Okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel like, actually, I have been bitten, walked over for whatever many years. Okay. And so then they're talking to Saturn, who's in Pisces, and Pisces at that lower vibe is the illusion, the delusion, right? Um, and so now they're saying Saturn is like, hey, you guys, you don't have to live in this lower vibe of Pisces anymore. We need some stability. Okay. And so Venus is like, yeah, we do. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. Okay. Because I got to go get right and tell everybody my self-worth. Right. Mars is over there saying, it's okay to feel like this. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to speak my words, right? It's okay. This isn't like not showing up, or I don't know, whatever those patriarchal terms would be to not speak up for yourself, right? And Saturn saying, well, let's bring some stability to this. Okay, let's bring some stability to this. We need our masculine and feminine on the same page. Again, Mars isn't going where he's in Cancer for the next 6 months. He'll be hitting his shadow pretty here soon. Okay. So this is the big theme to me for this eclipse, okay? We have to go back and really, or move forward, however you guys want to say it, and really get our self-esteem back, our self-worth back. Put down the phone, put down whatever, the drinks, put down, we can do this, you guys, we can do this. We're starting a new chapter, you know, and it is scary. Going on strike is scary. Telling yourself, you know what, you're worth a fucking mental health break is scary. Saying, you know what, I don't want to have control over this anymore is scary, right? So maybe that's the scary part of the darkness. I don't know. And it's nothing to like, it's okay to say you're scared, right? Don't act like I'm like, don't be scared about that. It's scary. Okay. I get it, you know? And then we have people in a huge swath of the United States who literally are in darkness because they don't have any power. They don't have any cell phone service, right? They don't have any of these things. And so we've got to come together and figure out, right, how to help these people. But this whole eclipse is about how do we help ourselves? What can we do, right? What can we do? What can we surrender to? How do we learn to recommunicate to people, to put ourselves back into balance? You know, that's that Mercury and Libra. Our masculine and feminine are together saying, okay, we need to come back into balance. And then the two planets that represent our masculine and feminine are in this grand water trine with Saturn saying, okay, Saturn's like, hey, I'm in Pisces. A lot of times when you guys would come into Pisces, we would get lost in the bullshit. I'm here. I'm creating some boundaries, right? I'm creating some stability for you, Venus, and for you, Mars. We're going to get this back on track. So a very strong eclipse, very strong with us getting rid of this, you know, martyring, victimhood, you know, storyline, right? Which is so sneaky. I see it almost every day. Like when there's like shit hitting the fan here in New Orleans, which I am pretty sure most cities and stuff. Mm. And I'll ask people, did you talk to your city councilman about it or whatever? And they're like, nothing's gonna happen, right? That's us agreeing just to be a victim, right? And I'm not saying that hasn't been modeled where people have been speaking up and we're still, you know, been getting it, you know, kicked in the nuts over and over and over again. But this is the time. This is the time that we change that model, right? This is the time. This is the time that we do re-believe in ourselves. This is the time where we say, no, I'm not going to stand for this, right? And before, everything just kept getting squashed, right? By big corporation, big money. The more that these unions go on strike, the more that we do understand there's power in the people, right? Even if right now, when you're listening to this, you're like, I don't fucking feel it. It's okay. It's okay. Because you may go to sleep in a couple days, you may wake up and you're like, I do feel it. I do feel it, right? I do feel it. Thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Venus. You know, thank you, Mars. Thank you, science, whatever, you know, thank you, God, whatever, you know. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at. It's really big. And if you think of the enormity of it, it's big, right? But that's where Saturn comes in. That's where Saturn comes in. Saturn's like, okay, well, you can just think about yourself. You can put the boundaries around this and you can really tend to that. And you can do the best and you can feel good about it, right? I've got a girlfriend, she houses cats, right? She does the cats. And then they adopt them out, right? And so, you know, I always talk to her about, well, you know, instead of maybe taking care of all the cats, put together a plan so you can teach people how this is how you take care of the cats and then you how to adopt them out, right? Same thing with like, you know, housing inequality, food inequality, all those things that we're fighting for, right? To not, we've jumped the shark, people. We know how to fix this. So it's just time that we do. But let's just say like you're really good and you know you can give you can house 50 families, right? Well, instead of thinking like the enormity of, well, what about all the other families? You say, this is what we do. We're really good at it. We know how to run it. Okay, would you like to also copy this program, right? And so it's giving people a chance to take care of each other, right? But have those boundaries. Okay, this is what we can do. Oh, yeah. Answering old problems with new solutions, right? This Pluto in Capricorn is really showing us how we don't want to work anymore. We don't want to go to work and can't pay fucking our bills. Like, what the shit? You know, and then be like, oh, you're surprised I want to go on strike when the CEO is making a 200% you know, profit or whatever. You know, my good friend works at the Barnes and Noble. They got no one working there. No one. No one. And they keep talking about customer service, but yet like the shareholders are making more money. Like, you know, we got to pick a lane. And this is what this eclipse is making us do. It's making us pick that lane where we show our self-worth, where we show we don't have to keep showing up for people we don't know for some fake dream, you know. It's going to start a new conversation. And it is scary because we don't know the words yet, right? But they're going to come to us. because Mercury is sitting right there with the sun, moon, and black moon Lilith. So don't stress out too much, right? Just allow yourself to have these feelings. Allow yourself to say, I only got these two hands, right? Allow yourself to say, you know what, I have a really good idea to help people, right? I have a really good idea how to bring things back into balance, maybe over here. Because some of you are going to want to go out and help lots of people. And some of us are going to just be like, you know what, I just want to kind of focus on me right now. That's how the world works, right? That's how we keep things in balance. And because things are so out of balance right now, this is bringing in this movement of this energy to put things back into balance. Okay, this is how we are. We can't keep working this one way. We just can't. So we're bringing things back in to get things in balance. And that's the good news. That's the good news. And how you keep yourself in balance and how you keep regulating your nervous system is really important, right? So you can do it. You don't have to watch I do this to you guys. I'm fucking on YouTube watching little stories before I go to sleep. I got to tell myself I can't do that. I mean, I do. I go through peaks and valleys. I got to pay attention. Like, why am I doing this right now? Where is it that I think, oh, this is the only way to go to sleep when it's not? It's not the only way to go to sleep. All right, let's pull a couple cards. This is going to be a big month, you guys. So here we are. You guys, here we are. You don't have to listen to the rhetoric. You can think everything that's happening to bring us back into balance. Four of fucking wands, you friends. Four of fucking wands. Okay, that's the victory, right? The Four of Wands is the homecoming, and it's a personal homecoming. The Six of Wands, if you guys remember, is a person on a horse, and there's a big parade. The Four of Wands has a man and a woman celebrating. Like, we did it, and they're having their own celebration. There's maybe some people back there dancing, but it's not for everyone. It's for you. This is you coming back home. This is you coming back into balance. And again, you can see the Four of Wands, right, which looks like an 11. So we always think of portals. And then when I think of a portal, I always think of the High Priestess. So, and you can see all that sun, that yellow around it. That's our solar plexus, right? That's our power center. That's where we manifest from. That is our self-esteem, right? And so it's saying it's coming back. We're coming back online. We're remembering who we are. We're remembering how fucking great we are and all the shit we do every day, right? And how great that is. And that did fall off for a really long time, right? Especially for women who were always thinking they weren't enough and they were running households and jobs and daycares and I mean, this is just in their life. Like, they're dropping kids off, they're running a household, they're doing all the shit, they have a job, right? And that was totally overlooked for a long time. But now it's coming back online like, oh my God, I did all that. Jesus, I got this. And I can't stress enough, the patriarchy did not help men nor women. Yeah. Interesting. So it's really important. I follow this girl called Birmingham Progressive, and she's talking about, she's reading this book, and then now she's saying, the patriarchy didn't help men either, which, we know. And this guy, and it's a book written about men by a woman, and the guy was saying, like, I think it's fair that a woman's writing a book about men. And she was like, well, that's fair. And I want to say, yeah, okay, you say that, but women have had books written about them for centuries about men. And while this isn't the time to say, well, now you know how it feels, because that energy of like, well, now you know, isn't really a helpful, loving energy. But I would say, like, this is a good learning opportunity. So if you guys are coming into things and men are saying things where they don't think it's fair because a woman, this would be a good time to say, well, this is a very good learning opportunity because this is how we've been living for centuries, right? And with everything, you guys, with everything, oppression, um, inequality in money, all that stuff. Okay. This is a big Libra ain't playing around. Okay. And Libra is the scales of justice, right? So the things that were extremely unjust are going to be coming back, right? Maybe not overnight, but maybe in 2 weeks. Okay. But it's really going to be showing us where things have been unjust. So we have to know that. Okay. This is being shown to us. It's being brought into the light. So we get it, right? Like, no, we can all get it. So then we can all tip those scales. Okay, good news, Ace of Swords, right? Ace of Swords is the way we communicate. Ace of Swords is the air signs, and we're in Libra season, so this is perfect, right? So this, again, is this new way of communicating. It's these epiphanies that we get, like, oh, aha, right? Because usually air is cerebral. but also, like communicating that with the heart, you don't leave that out, right? But like these epiphanies, right? This guy being like, how is it really fair for a woman to be talking about men, even though this woman's probably like smartest woman on the planet. It's got a PhD. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't read the book. Okay. But, for this idea for a guy to be like, wow, that's weird, even though for centuries, like that's why we have no health care for women because it's been dictated by male doctors. And I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I think you guys get it, right? But that was the epiphany for that guy, right? And so we're going to start having lots of epiphanies for ourselves, and we're going to start communicating things better, and see if you can communicate them with compassion, right? For this, and then what's really interesting is we got the Ten of Swords, which is the happy family, and the Ten of Cups, which is the happy family card, and the Two of Swords, and they came out together. And so this is using discernment. The Two of Swords, again, more air sign, right? And we were talking about the feelings, and here's water, which is our feelings. Okay. Look, here's our little eclipse happening. Um, so when we talk about discernment, when I talk about discernment with the Two of Swords, it is this idea that um, we can't go on based on what we see. We have to go on based what we feel, right? And we have to feel how to get us back into this happy family. And family, earth family, selected family, family of origin, whatever family means to you. Because it's here. The happiness is here. It's just how do we get back to it, right? How do we sit and listen to figure out what it is that we really need? And then we go to that based on how we feel, not what's in front of us, right? Not what's in front of us. It kind of goes back to that discussion earlier about going within and knowing you're working towards something because the way you feel, not because of what you see. Because you see she's blindfolded, right? So if you feel like this is really what I need to do to bring us back into this happy family, and you're doing it, right? But right away you're not seeing a result, or you're not seeing a blah blah blah, but you feel like this is the route I need to take. You keep taking it because it's based on feelings, right? In the Two Swords, right? It's like sitting in meditation. It's discerning what's going on around you, but it's not allowing yourself to be fooled by what you see, right? So maybe your mind and your feelings are aligned, right? Which is good for Libra season. And good for this eclipse. Again, it goes back to I don't have to figure this out. Just how am I feeling right now? Okay. Big eclipse, friends. Big October. The ancestor energy standing on the shoulder of giants, all of that is coming in. We have a lot of cosmic support if we're quiet and we feel for it. There's no way that we would be making these choices and having this bravery, right? And saying we're going to do this if we didn't have the support of our ancestors and people who love us and energies that love us, right? No matter what the news tries to tell us or whatever algorithm these things give to us, and that's another way we could read this, right? That happy family, those ancestors are coming in to help us. Um, they know what we're asking for, right? Our healed ancestors for sure, and they know that they're there to help us. So, October is the month, right? October, November 1st, Day of the Dead, right? All Spirits Day, All Saints Day. This is the month that we celebrate all this. So know that they're here. Know that they want us happy. They want us to come back into balance. Use that discernment. Go into that meditation. Talk to them. Don't worry about what's being presented to you, because what's being presented to you oftentimes is the illusion, right? It's not real. Makes a good story, keeps us engaged, right? Keeps our fucking, what do you call it, nervous system through the fucking roof, blood pressure, right? Go to how you feel, right? Go to talking to your ancestors. Go to your idea of what a happy family and that energy looks like, right? It doesn't have to be your family of origin and all that stuff. It's just, earth family, how you want it. Discernment. Go with the feelings. And you can see the water isn't very rough. So this isn't like super strong emotional feelings. This is like, okay, movement's happening. a beautiful soft stream. You know, when you hear the waves gently lapping, you know there's movement. It's good for the feelings, right? Good for the mind. Reset that mind. Have that epiphany. Move with it. Crown is there. Victory is there. Six of flames. There's like six little flames, right? So the number six card is the lovers, coming into ourselves, that masculine and feminine. So big eclipse energy. I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, you know, reach out. Just know there's a lot of surrender coming on, and there's a lot of things that are being created in the darkness that we don't need to see, right? That we don't need to sit there and figure out. We just need to, you know, allow it to be created, right? And show up and be appreciative. And it's not about being stupid or keeping yourself in the dark. It's about having that reverence for allowing things to be. When we pray for things and they show up, they do, right? And so that void is creation. Those black holes, we know stars get created out there, which then create galaxies and planets, but we don't know exactly how it all comes together, but it happens in the dark, right? So allow the dark to happen and to bring all this good stuff up. I'll probably be gone more for November or for October, I guess in November too, because there's a lot happening. So happy eclipse. Just let it be. You guys, let things go. Just let it go. Allow Black Moon Lilith to come in. I think also she's going to be bringing back to us, you know, our natural state of being and remembering things that we could do, right? That like, oh yeah, that's good. Also, slight thing, we have the second moon now. We have a beautiful little asteroid that's going to be with the moon for the next 57 days. I missed a couple days, but it's 57 days total. You can't see it unless you have a telescope. So, but it's running around, so it's like a little extra boost to more of that divine feminine energy, which is the moon. So there's also like the sun and the moon, this little space rock, Black Moon Lilith, Mercury. It's party. It's party in Libra right now. So we have a lot of cosmic support, seen and unseen, you know, so feel it, feel into it. Okay, friends, if you need anything, just reach out and I will talk to you guys soon.